HighBridge, a division of Recorded Books, presents The Tradition by Jericho Brown. Read by J.D. Jackson. I will bring you a whole person, and you will bring me a whole person, and we will have us twice as much of love and everything. Mari Evans. 1. Ganymede. A man trades his son for horses. That's the version I prefer. I like the safety of it. No one at fault, everyone rewarded. God gets the boy. The boy becomes immortal. His father rides until grief sounds as good as the gallop of an animal born to carry those who patrol our inherited kingdom. When we look at myth this way, nobody bothers saying, rape. I mean, don't you want God to want you? Don't you dream of someone with wings taking you up? And when the Master comes for our children, he smells like the men who own stables in heaven, that far terrain between promise and apology. No one has to convince us. The people of my country believe we can't be hurt if we can be bought. As a human being, there is happiness you have and the happiness you deserve. They sit apart from each other the way you and your mother sat on opposite ends of the sofa after an ambulance came to take your father away. Some good doctor will stitch him up, and soon an aunt will arrive to drive your mother to the hospital where she will settle next to him forever, as promised. She holds the arm of her seat as if she could fall, as if it is the only sturdy thing, and it is, since you've done what you always wanted. You fought your father and won, marred him. He'll have a scar he can see all because of you. And your mother, the only woman you ever cried for, must tend to it as a bride tends to her vows, forsaking all others, no matter how sore the injury. No matter how sore the injury has left you, you sit understanding yourself as a human being finally free, now that nobody's got to love you. Flower. Yellow bird, yellow house, little yellow song, light in my jaundiced mouth. These yellow teeth need brushing, but you admire my yellow smile. This black boy keeps singing. Tiny life, yellow bile. The microscopes. Heavy and expensive, hard and black with bits of chrome. They looked like baby cannons, the real children of war. And I hated them for that, for what our teachers said they could do. And then I hated them for what they did when we gave up. Stealing looks at one another's bodies, to press a left or right eye into the barrel and see our actual selves taken down to a cell, then blown back up again, every atomic thing about a piece of my coiled hair on one side, just as unimportant as anyone else's, growing in that science class where I learned what little difference God saw if God saw me. It was the start of one fear, a puny one not much worth mentioning. Narrow as the pencil tucked behind my ear, lost when I reached for it, to stab someone I secretly loved, a bigger boy, who'd advance through those tight, locker-lined corridors, shoving without saying, "Excuse me," more an insult than a battle. No large loss. Not at all. Nothing necessary to study or recall. No fighting in the hall on the way to an American history exam I almost passed. Redcoats, red blood cells, red-bricked education I rode the bus to get. I can't remember the exact date or grade, But I know when I began ignoring slight alarms that move others to charge or retreat. I'm a kind of camouflage. I never let on when scared of conflicts so old they seem to amount to nothing really. Dust particles left behind, like the viral geography of an occupied territory. A region I imagine you imagine when you see a white woman walking with a speck like me. The tradition. Aster, nasturtium, delphinium. We thought fingers in dirt meant it was our dirt. Learning names in heat, in elements classical philosopher said could change us. Stargazer, foxglove. Summer seemed to bloom against the will of the sun, which news reports claimed flamed hotter on this planet than when our dead fathers wiped sweat from their necks. Cosmos, baby's breath. Men like me and my brothers filmed what we planted for proof we existed before too late. Sped the video to see blossoms brought in seconds, colors you expect in poems where the world ends, everything cut down. John Crawford, Eric Garner, Mike Brown. Hero. She never knew one of us from another, so my brothers and I grew up fighting over our mother's mind. Like sun-colored suitors in a Greek myth. We were willing to do evil. We kept chocolate around our mouths. The last of her mother's lot, she cried at funerals, cried when she whipped me. She whipped me daily. I am most interested in people who declare gratitude for their childhood beatings. And none of them took what my mother gave, waking us for school with sharp slaps to our bare thighs. That side of the family is darker. I should be grateful, so I will be. No one on earth knows how many abortions happened before a woman risked her freedom by giving that risk a name, by taking it to breast. I don't know why I am alive now, that I still cannot impress the woman who whipped me into being. I turned my mother into a grandmother. She thanks me by kissing my sons. Gratitude is black. Black as a hero returning from war to a country that banked on his death. Thank God. It can't get much darker than that. After another country. Some dark of us dark, the ones like me, walk around looking for a building or a bridge. We mumble and pull at our lips, convinced, until we see how far down the distance. We arrive to leave, calling ourselves cowards, but not you, Rufus. You make it to the George Washington, bold as an officer of the law with the right to direct traffic when all the stoplights are out, and you leap, dirty against the whiteness of the sky, to your escape through the whiteness of the water. The water lilies. They open in the day and close at night. They are good at appearances. They are white. I judge them, judge the study they make of themselves, aspirational beings, fake. If you ask me, I'll say no, thank you. I don't need to watch what goes. Only imagining itself seen. Don't need to see them yawn their thin mouths and feed on light, absolute and unmoved. They remind me of black people who see the movie about slaves and exit saying how they would have fought to whip Legree with his own whip and walked away from the plantation, their eyes raised to the sun, without going blind. 4-day in the morning. My mother grew morning glories that spilled onto the walkway toward her porch. because she was a woman with land who showed as much by giving it color. She told me I could have whatever I worked for. That means she was an American. But she'd say it was because she believed in God. I am ashamed of America and confounded by God. I thank God for my citizenship in spite of the timer set on my life to write these words. I love my mother. I love black women who plant flowers as sheepish as their sons. By the time the blooms unfurl themselves for a few hours of light, the women who tend them are already at work. Blue. I'll never know who started the lie that we are lazy, but I'd love to wake that bastard up at 4 in the morning, toss him in a truck, and drive him under God past every bus stop in America to see all those black folk waiting to go work for whatever they want. A house, a boy to keep the lawn cut, some color in the yard. My God, we leave things green. The card tables. Stop playing. You do remember the card tables, slick stick figures like men with low-cut fades, short but standing straight because we bent them into weak display. What didn't we want? What wouldn't we claim? How perfectly each surface was made for throwing or dropping or slamming a necessary portion of our pay. And how could any of us get by with one in the way? Didn't that bare square ask to be played on, beaten on the head, then folded, then put away, all so we could call ourselves safe, now that there was more room, a little more space? Bullet points. I will not shoot myself in the head, and I will not shoot myself in the back, and I will not hang myself with a trash bag, and if I do, I promise you, I will not do it in a police car while handcuffed or in the jail cell of a town I only know the name of because I have to drive through it to get home. Yes, I may be at risk, but I promise you, I trust the maggots who live beneath the floorboards of my house to do what they must to any carcass more than I trust an officer of the law of the land to shut my eyes like a man of God might, or to cover me with a sheet so clean my mother could have used it to tuck me in. When I kill me, I will do it the same way most Americans do. I promise you. Cigarette smoke, or a piece of meat on which I choke, or so broke I freeze in one of these winters we keep calling worst. I promise if you hear of me dead anywhere near a cop, then that cop killed me. He took me from us and left my body, which is, no matter what we've been taught, greater than the settlement a city can pay a mother to stop crying, and more beautiful than the new bullet fished from the folds of my brain. Duplex. A poem is a gesture toward home. It makes dark demands I call my own. Memory makes demands darker than my own. My last love drove a burgundy car. My first love drove a burgundy car. He was fast and awful, tall as my father, steadfast and awful. My tall father hit hard as a hailstorm. He'd leave marks. Light rain hits easy but leaves its own mark, like the sound of a mother weeping again, like the sound of my mother weeping again. No sound beating ends where it began. None of the beaten end up how we began. A poem is a gesture toward home. The trees. In my front yard live 3 crepe myrtles, crying trees we once called them. Not the shadiest, but soothing during a break from work in the heat. Their cool sweat falling into us. I don't want to make more of it. I'd like to let these spindly things be. Since my gift for transformation here proves useless now that I know everyone moves the same, whether moving in tears or moving to punch my face. A crepe myrtle is a crepe myrtle. 3 is a family. It is winter. They are bare. It's not that I love them every day. It's that I love them anyway. After Avery R. Young. Black is not a country, but I live there where even the youngest call you baby. Sometimes you ain't we. Sometimes you is everybody. Washboard rains come. We open our mouths for a drink. Rather be radical than a fool. Oh, and no, we're not interested in killing white people or making them work. Matter of truth, some snorted cocaine until folks started calling it white lady. Anyway, slavery is a bad idea. The more you look like me, the more we agree. Sometimes you is everybody. The black mind is a continuous mind. There is a we. I am among them. I am one of the ones. I belong. Boom, ba-boom. I live there where we have a right to expect something of the brother. Hooking and crooking or punching a clock, it's got to get done. That expectation, stunning, incantatory, black. Power in our 24-hour barbershops. Power in the Stateville Correctional Center. Power broke, whether I have a car note or not. Power under a quilt that won't unravel, though I never met the woman who sold it or the woman for whom it was a gift before it finally came to me. The black mind is a continuous mind. I am not a narrative form, but damn it if I don't tell a story. All land owned is land once stolen. So the blues people of the world walk on water. We will not die. Black music, black rage, black city of the soul in a very cold town. Black ice is ice you can't see. Second language. You come with a little black string tied around your tongue, knotted to remind where you came from and why you left behind photographs of people whose names now buck pronouncing. How do you say God now that the night rises sooner? Why must we wake to work before any alarm? I am the man asking. The great-grandson made so by the dead tenant farmers promised a plot of woods to hew. They thought they could own the dirt they were bound to. In that part of the country, a knot is something you get after getting knocked down, and story means lie. In your plot of the country, class means school. This room where we practice words that undo your tongue when you tell a lie, or start a promise, or unravel like a story. A young man. We stand together on our block, me and my son, neighbors saying our face is the same, but I know he's better than me. When other children move toward my daughter, he lurches like a brother meant to put them down. He is a bodyguard on the playground. He won't turn apart from her. Empties any enemy, leaves them flimsy, me confounded. I never fought for so much. I calmed my daughter when I could cradle my daughter. My son swaggers about her. He won't have to heal a girl he won't let free. They are so small, and I still am a young man. In him lives my black anger made red. They play. He is not yet incarcerated. 2. Duplex. The opposite of rape is understanding a field of flowers called paintbrushes. A field of flowers called paintbrushes, though the spring be less than actual. Though the spring be less than actual, men roam shirtless as if none ever hurt me. Men roam that myth. In truth, one hurt me. I want to obliterate the flowered field, to obliterate my need for the field and raise a building above the grasses, a building of prayer against the grasses, my body a temple in disrepair. My body is a temple in disrepair. The opposite of rape is understanding. Riddle. We do not recognize the body of Emmett Till. We do not know the boy's name nor the sound of his mother wailing. We have never heard a mother wailing. We do not know the history of this nation and ourselves. We do not know the history of ourselves on this planet because we do not have to know what we believe we own. We believe we own your bodies but have no use for your tears. We destroy the body that refuses use. We use maps we did not draw. We see a sea, so cross it. We see a moon, so land there. We love land so long as we can take it. Shh! We can't take that sound. What is a mother wailing? We do not recognize music until we can sell it. We sell what cannot be bought. We buy silence. Let us help you. How much does it cost to hold your breath underwater? Wait. Wait. What are we? What? What on earth are we? What? Good white people. Not my phrase, I swear, but my grandmother's, when someone surprised her by holding open the door, or by singing that same high C Stephanie Mills holds near the end of I Have Learned to Respect the Power of Love, or by gifting her with a turkey on the 24th of December, after a year of tipping her for cleaning what they could afford not to clean. You'll have to forgive my grandmother with her good hair and her good white people and her certified good slap across your mouth. Crack the beaten door to eat or sing, but do not speak evil. Dead bad black woman I still love. She didn't know what we know. In America today, anyone can turn on a TV or look out a window to see several kinds of bird in the air, while each face watching smiles and spits, cusses and sings a single anthem of blood. All is stained. She was ugly. I'm ugly. You're ugly too. No such thing as good white people. Correspondence. After the Jerome Project by Titus Kaphar. Oil gold leaf and tar on wood panels. 7 inches by 10.5 inches each. I am writing to you from the other side of my body where I have never been shot and no one's ever cut me. I had to go back this far in order to present myself as a whole being you'd heed and believe in. You can trust me when I am young. You can know more when you move your hands over a child, swift and without the interruptions we associate with penetration. The young are hard for you to kill. Maybe harder still to hear a kid cry, without looking for a sweet to slip into his mouth. Won't you hold him? Won't you coo toward the years before my story is all the fault of our imaginations? We can make me better if you like. Write back, or take the trip. I've dressed my wounds with tar and straightened a place for you on the cold side of this twin bed. Trojan. When a hurricane sends winds far enough north to put our power out, we only think of winning the war bodies wage to prove the border between them isn't real. An act of God so sweet. No TV, no novel, no recreation but each other, and neither of us willing to kill. I don't care that I don't love my lover. Knowing where to stroke in little light, knowing what will happen to me and how soon, these rank higher than a clear view of the face I'd otherwise flay had I some training in combat, a blade, a few matches. Candles are romantic because we understand shadows. We recognize the shape of what once made us come, so we come thinking of approach in ways that forego substance. I'm breathing, heaving now, in my own skin, and I know it. Romance is an act. The perimeter stays intact. We make out so little that I can't help but imagine my safety. I get to tell the truth about what kind of a person lives and who dies. Barefoot survivors. Damned heroes, each corpse lit on a pyre. Patroclus died because he could not see what he really was inside his lover's armor. The Legend of Big and Fine. Long ago, we used 2 words for the worth of a house, a car, a woman. All the same to men who claimed them. Things to be entered, each to suffer wear and tear with time. But greater than the love for these was the strong little grin one man offered another, saying, "You lucky, you got you a big fine." Hard to imagine so many men waiting on each other to be recognized, every crooked tooth in our naming mouths ready like the syllables of a very short sentence, all of us crying, "Mine," like babies who grab for what must be beautiful, since someone else saw it. The Peaches. I choose these 2 bruised, maybe too ripe to take, fondling as I toss them each into my cart, the smaller with its stem somewhat intact, because they remind me of the girls who won't be girls much longer, both sealed and secured, like a monarch's treasure in a basement below the basement of the house I inherited. I've worked hard and want to bring them something sweet, so they know I've missed them, more than anyone else. But first, I weigh the peaches, pay for them, make the short drive to my childhood home of latches, mazes, and locked doors. Every key mine now, though I've hidden a few from myself. I pride myself on my gifts. I can fashion for you a place to play, and when you think it's dark there, I hand you fruit like 2 swollen bulbs of light you can hold on to. Watch your eyes brighten as you eat. Night Shift. When I am touched, brushed, and measured, I think of myself as a painting. The artist works no matter the lack of sleep. I am made beautiful. I never eat. I once bothered with a man who called me snack, midnight snack to be exact. I'd oblige because he hurt me with a violence I mistook for desire. I'd get left hanging in one room of his dim house, while he swept or folded laundry. When you've been worked on for so long, you never know you're done. Paint dries. Midnight is many colors. Black and blue are only 2. The man who tinted me best kept me looking a little like a chore. How do you say prepared in French? How do you draw a man on the night shift? Security at the Museum for the Blind, he eats to stay awake. He's so full he never has to eat again. And the moon goes. Shovel. I am not the man who put a bullet in its brain, but I am commissioned to dispose of the corpse. Lay furniture plastic next to it and roll it over until it is wrapped. Tape with duct tape until it is completely contained. Lay next to that containment a tarp and roll it over until it is wrapped again. Take cheap hardware twine and tie it like a proper gift. A gift a good child will
Sample complete. Ready to continue?